Thank you, Master Hua. At this time, I would like to have the two speakers, if they wish, question, if they have any, each other, and have a form of dialogue between the two speakers.
I'm very much looking forward to the part of the evening when we have questions from the audience, but just to follow protocol, I have two very brief questions that I would like to ask you. I was very much moved by many of the things that you said, Master Xuan, but particularly when you spoke about in prayer taking upon ourselves the whole world, basically. Uniting ourselves in prayer with the whole world. There's a beautiful story reported about a Hasidic rabbi who always began his prayers by saying, I unite myself with all those who are closer to God, further ahead in this direction in which we lift up heart and mind to in our prayer, so that through them I may go to God. And I unite myself with all those who may still be further away than I am from the goal, so that through my prayer they may get there. And I think that is the basic attitude in which we all pray when we do pray. But this prayer of petition seems in a sense furthest removed from thanksgiving as the basic gesture of prayer, and yet I understand this petition as an anticipated thanksgiving, and therefore also the intercession for others. When we pray for others, we simply are at the place of the heart, united with all others, and so we can never pray without praying for them in the sense of praying with them. And when our heart is lifted up, everybody's heart is lifted up. But that implies also a sense of social responsibility. Prayer is inseparable from social responsibility. If in prayer we find our true self, then we have found that self, which is meant when we are called to love our neighbor as ourself. It is not something dualistic that I love my neighbor as I would love myself if I were somebody else, but rather I love my neighbor because I have discovered that my neighbor and I are one self, and self is that which you can't help loving. So my question is there in the Buddhist tradition, or in your particular branch of Buddhist tradition, a similar connection with prayer and social responsibility? In other words, we cannot pray for the world and take the world upon ourselves without doing something for the world when we come out of prayer. Serving.
他说听老和尚讲的也很感激，尤其是那个要带所有的众生受苦，受他们的罪过，当自己的罪过一样。那么这种大的心量是很大的。他记得一个犹太教的一个老师，他说谁离天主比我近的，我就向他们而快点到了上帝去；谁比我近，谁比我离开上帝远一点，我愿意他们就上我那儿来更近更快到了上帝那儿。那么是不是上人的意思就和这个态度差不多的？他说这种的祈祷是比感激就进步的多，就量大的。
你告诉他是犹太人，我是中国人，可是都在这个虚空里头，我也不一定答复他是，也不一定答复他不是。这一段，这个头一段。
I translated. There's one response halfway along. After hearing the story about the Hasidic rabbi who said, all those who are closer to God than I am, all those whom I am closer to God than, I'm willing to, that they might reach God before I do. All those who are further away, may they cross over me to get to God sooner. The Venerable Abbot said, all right, you can be the Hasidic rabbi, and I can be all of those who are farther away. And the sooner I get to God with you, then that's the way I'd like it to be. Now, is it really that way? Are you really the Hasidic rabbi, and am I really further away? I won't say yes or no. That's the answer to that part. But 他说，然后他说，他想，如果商人的就这么说，受所有的人的罪过，就当自己的罪过一样，就是一个人提高一切的人提高。那么这种的思想就是表示商人在祈祷之中有一种为人民服务的一个责任感，是不是？那么这是很感动他。他说，在他所欢喜的祈祷之中，有一个爱人如己一种态度。那么，因为你知道你自己，你就爱你自己，必须要一样爱所有其他的人。那么，到底他的问题就是在佛教里边有没有这种思想？就是说，祈祷完了以后，必须要到外边去利益人，就为人服务。佛教有没有这种思想？
是这个不单有，而且都要去做去。不单有这种思想，而且还要去实做去。所以我们万佛城呢，一天所有出家人是吃一餐的，这一餐就省下那2餐饭呢，是给这个世界没有饭吃的人，给他们吃的。能不能这样子？只是我们这个心是这样子。
Brother David's question, the last question was, is there in the Buddhist tradition a connection so that once you're finished with prayer, you have a social responsibility to go do something meaningful? Not only must you have this attitude, but you have to really go and do it in Buddhism. For instance, as an example, at the City of 10,000 Buddhas, all of the left-home Sangha, all of the left-home bhikshus and bhikshunis, the monks and the nuns, eat 1 meal a day at noon. This way we save 2 meals worth of food and drink. And in this way, the available resources on the planet are not wasted. They're not used. Now, is it the case that our wish is to, in this way, to be able to take the food that we would have eaten in those 2 meals and make it still available for all of the hungry people that this world contains? Now, do the hungry people actually get the food that we save? Well, it's not for sure that there's that direct connection, but that is our wish.
Thank you very much. This process of questioning and translating is a bit cumbersome, so in the interest of time, maybe I will save my second question for private discussion and throw it open to you, to the audience.
我希望他不问我了，因为我等于一个哑巴一样，不会讲英文。
Actually, I was hoping that you wouldn't ask that second question because I'm very much in the position of a mute because I don't speak English.
问这个懂英文的比较问我，省时间的多。
If you would ask your question of somebody who understands English, you would certainly save a lot of time.
Now, does that mean that Master Hua does not have a question for Brother David?
上人有没有问题向他那儿问？
我想问他，我要做他的教徒，做他的一个徒弟，他要不要我？
My question is, I would like very much to enroll as your disciple. Will you accept me?
The answer is very simple. Sorry, no.
不会，不肯。
那我真是个圣人了，剩下的人。
啥？
那我真是个剩下的人了，没人要了。
Ah, well, in fact, then I'm really bereft. Nobody will take me. I'm a leftover.
At this time, I would like to open this up, if I may, to questions from the floor. Please make your statements brief, and please indicate who you are asking the question to. Thank you. Any questions? Yes. Ask the question.
很多次是在西方、在东方一样的，在一个道场的附近有一种灵气，就是因为出家人在里边祈祷。那么就说为人民服务，是不是不需要去做某一个善事？那个出家人就在里边祈祷，已经有一种灵气、一种锐气在那利益万物。可不可以讲一讲对于这个？ 是不是不需要到外边去做善事，就在里边祈祷，已经是丰富善良的一个能力就发作了？有没有这个情形？
修道应该是内功外果。 不是偏重一边的，在立外功的时候，也不应该只照有外功的有什么所得。在那里头啊，你要能以清净其心，清心寡欲，你没有那么多欲望了。 那就是真正帮助自己。你再没有贪心了，那就是帮助其他人。
When we when we cultivate the way, we have to establish merit inside and establish virtue outside. We don't want to be prejudiced or partial to either aspect, inside or outside. If we can establish outer good works and merit and not attach to the idea of getting any results, then that's the right way to do it. And if inside we can purify our own minds, if we can reduce our desires and know contentment, that is truly helping out yourself. And then if further we can get rid of all our greed, then we are truly helping others.
In Christian history, the monasteries have often been seen as schools for prayer and sort of hothouses and powerhouses for prayer. At this present moment, however, the discovery that householders have their own special way of relating to reality, and therefore should cultivate their own prayer, not depend on the monks, is a very important discovery. And so there will be householder prayer coming from which we monks ought to learn. I think that is the more important task at the present moment.
天主教好久以为这个道场外边就是会发作很大的力量，可是在家人也有他们的那个责任，需要。
Are there any other questions? Will you please stand and speak as loud as you can? Thank you.
You ask us to distinguish between the Buddhist Christian and the secular humanist position with regard to prayer, if we can, or under what particular aspect? While the translation is going on, I will try and give you an answer from my point of view. While we can express the reality of prayer in Christian terms, we can also ought to be able to express them in what you might call secular humanist terms, in basic human terms, because prayer at its heart is that which makes us human. At least that is the way I see it. So while we can express it also in specifically Christian terms, it is not necessary to do so. Of course, I find a great enrichment personally in expressing it in Christian terms. We can even say that many of the, for instance, the elaboration of the Trinitarian dogmas and of the Christological dogmas, in other words, the way from Jesus in history who teaches his disciples to pray, Our Father, and the Christ of the Christian dogmas, of the Christian creeds, who is the second person of the Trinity, we can understand that this whole development is concerned not so much with the question of Jesus out there, but with the question of who are we when we pray? Who are we in our relationship to God, to the giver, the Father, the giver from whom everything comes, from whom we receive ourselves as gift, and to whom we totally give ourselves back in the Holy Spirit, the spirit of thanksgiving, that what the Greek fathers called this round dance of the Blessed Trinity, that is something that's not going on out there. We are so passionately concerned with it because it is our relationship to God, each one's personal and all our together relationship to God in prayer. That God is the one to whom we pray, who prays in us, and in whom we are transformed as we pray. So it's a basic human reality, but it can be expressed in Christian terms.
His answer was quite sufficient.
I think there was a hand here. This.
Is there any difference between prayer and meditation?
祈祷和打坐参禅有没有什么不同？
你想它不同，它就不同；你想它通，它就通。
If you think they're the same, they're the same. If you think they're different, then they're different.
That's a very fine answer, but out of a sense of responsibility for precision, I would say the way I have used the terms, prayer is the overarching term, prayerfulness, prayer with a capital P, and all the other forms of prayer are means to that end of prayerfulness, and contemplation is one of them. And then again, there are so many definitions for contemplation and so forth that it's not a particularly helpful term. Not, again, a very precise term, or a term that has been used in many different ways.
Because of the time element, I will entertain just one more question and someone who has not asked. Yes.
他说有一次有人向佛来问，他说他常常想到这个答复，他不知道是对是不对，是这么样说。有人就问佛，我怎么样应该打坐参禅，应该怎么样做佛教徒？佛就说，如果要利益他人，应该去打坐去；如果要利益自己，应该去帮助人去。是不是这么样说的？如果是的话，就是他常常想到这一点呢，还是不懂的，对不对？
怎么样？
就是如果要利益旁人，应该回光返照，打坐，安静一下；如果要利益自己，应该去用功，帮助人，做一件善事。
这就是人和自己 不要分别那么多，利益人就是利益自己，利益自己也是利益人，自利利他。
There's no need to go and make your distinction between self and others so precise. By benefiting other people, you are receiving the highest benefit. And by benefiting yourself, you are helping other people, because there's just not that much difference between the two. Benefiting oneself and benefiting others, they're the same.
同样的功德。
The merit and virtue is the same in both cases.
At this time, I would like to ask our speakers to make a final statement, and I would like to begin with Brother David.
Well, instead of a final statement, I'll tell you an experience that was a high point, a peak experience in my own encounter with Buddhism, and specifically in the area of prayer. And it sheds light on something that I'm still groping with to express, really, namely that this whole idea of Buddhist-Christian dialogue seems to be an awfully Christian idea. I don't know whether the Buddhists would really have come up with that on their own. It is all talk, you see. And so sometimes I would feel much more comfortable with no words and the sharing in that way. And the particular experience that I would like to tell you was one of Buddhist-Christian shared silence. I had the great privilege of sitting next to His Holiness the Dalai Lama during some of the conferences at Middlebury College. I understand the book about that conference has been sold out here at this conference, but anyway, called Christ and the Bodhisattva, and that was also the name of the conference. And His Holiness participated in all the different conferences and sat through and listened to everybody. And several times we were sitting next to one another. And he had wonderful ways of sharing. It was cold, and he would rub my hands to make me warmer when he saw I had cold hands and things like that. But at one point, he pulled the little prayer beads off my finger, and they are appropriately small in comparison with the ones that Master Xuan one is wearing. But anyway, they were also smaller than the ones that the Dalai Lama wore. But he would pull these off my finger and instead give me his. And during that hour, we were using one another's prayer beads. And then he gave them back to me, and we changed them back. And that to me, even though I didn't know exactly what kind of prayer he does on those beads, and I don't know it to this day, but that really didn't matter.
他说他自己一个很忘不了的一个经验。他说这个天主教和佛教的对话，他想就是天主教徒所发明的一个方法。为什么？因为都是啰嗦，讲了。他说佛教是注重实行。他最欢喜就是有机会就默然而打坐，默然参禅，这样子。那么他说就是他一个经验，有一次在明德大学，就是美国东部，有机会和达赖喇嘛一起参禅，他们是2个人参加这个大会议了。那么他说他们就是冬天，有几次和达赖喇嘛就隔壁坐，有的时候达赖喇嘛就把他的手就拿一拿。有的是他因为这个神父，他带着小小的念珠，就在他那个一个手指上就带着。那么达赖喇嘛就向他，就拿他2个小小的手那个念珠给拿走，把他自己的大念珠就给他了，就不是给他了。那么他们在那儿有几次是这样子，然后再交换，那个大的就还给达赖喇嘛。 那么神父就说他根本不知道怎么样用这是一个念珠，他达赖喇嘛所祈祷的方法他根本不懂了。不过他教的其实很特别，他就一辈子忘不了的一个经验。
就像两个小孩子在那玩一玩嘛。
So the two of you were just like kids playing together.
我这个祝福你们各位啊，无论是哪一个宗教的教徒，希望你们好好做你本宗教的教徒，将来呀，满你们那个教主的最初创教那种的思想和志愿，你们都能令那个你的自己的教主啊，满他的志愿呢，那你们一定都是好教徒。所谓道是行的，不行何用道？德是做的，不做哪有德？希望各位努力，向前呢，勇猛精进。
I would like now to give my blessings to you all, and no matter what religion you believe in, I want all of us to be true disciples of the founders of our own respective faiths, and go forward now from this time and fulfill the thinking and fulfill the vows and the wishes of the founders of our religions. Recall the spirit that each used as he established that religion. And if we can do that, then our own wishes, our own individual hopes within that religion are certain to be realized. And finally, remember that the way is walked. If you don't really walk it, then how is it the way? Virtue is something that we do. If we don't really do it, then where is the virtue? So keeping that in mind, let's really go and expend effort, cultivate the way, and go forward and advance.
At this time, may I thank our two presenters. This concludes our evening program, but simply I would like to thank our presenters for their love, wisdom, and compassion, and to Master Shura for his translations. Thank you very much for your attendance. Good night.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyway, it was a great privilege meeting you. Thank you. Incredible. Enjoy.